for another video for Nobody Motivation, where we aim to hit you up with videos on a weekly basis designed to educate, motivate and inspire you to achieve your biggest, brightest, boldest goals. Now today this video is all about how can you define and actualize goals that will take you beyond the stratosphere. That's right, we're looking to go beyond the orbit of the Earth and come up with some real fantastic goals using examples set by Elon Musk. Now as the world is going crazy for battery operated vehicles, Elon Musk, through his SpaceX program, is developing and manufacturing large-scale rockets that would take spacecraft beyond Earth's orbit with the goal to colonize Mars. Now this is not your average type of goal. This is a humongous goal. If it wasn't for Elon Musk's credentials, he could quite easily find himself in a mental health institution. A goal should be one that not only terrifies you, but excites you as well. And being able to colonize Mars is something that truly excites and terrifies Elon Musk at the same time. But it's even bigger than that. He feels that he has a calling to save mankind from himself. Okay? He believes that man is going to destroy himself over the next few years, so that we need to be multi-planetary beings. We need to be able to occupy more than one planet. Okay? Because we're at risk at the moment of messing up the only planet that we have, which is planet Earth. So Elon Musk is coming up with some humongous goals, and I'm going to share with you how we can take some of those principles and apply them into our own goal setting ideas and processes. You see, most people don't have a problem with coming up with big, outlandish goals, particularly when they're sleeping or napping. This is because when you're in these states, gravity does not apply. Gravity doesn't hold you down on your goals. The problem tends to occur in the grey hours. This is the time in between sleeping and being awake that people struggle to execute and implement their actual goals. We are emotional beings unless we have a deficit, okay? That means if we are troubled, particularly before we go to bed, some of those feelings, anxieties give rise into the way that we think and we dream, okay? Because emotions manifest thought. Thought manifests words. Now words, when they are written down, again 140 characters or less as a clear goal statement, have the power to move you, has the power to change your reality. The earth, the world that we live in, is malleable. It is not set in stone. All the greats, from Oprah Winfrey to Elon Musk to Bill Gates to Richard Branson, they will tell you the world is malleable. You can literally command it to give you what you need. Okay, you can manifest things that are in your mind into the reality that you have today, as long as you can define your goal in a very clear way. And there's no better principle, no better method that I've discovered. Without being able to clearly define the goal in 140 characters or less, you will struggle. You come up with things that are ambiguous. You cannot move forward if your plan is not clear. So 140 characters is enough for you to define your statement. This is reinforcement for any of you guys who've been watching my previous videos. And then 140 characters again per day to map out your individual tasks for you to achieve the goal. This is the principle of the 140 character rule. These are the challenges that we're all experiencing on an individual basis. This is why our network is so important, because just like you are going through all these trials and tribulations in trying to make your goals and your dreams come true, so are members of your network. They say you're the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. Your net worth is equal to your net worth, okay? So if you've got a poor functioning network, okay, you will not be achieving your goals. This will leave you feeling unsatisfied with life generally. So your network is so important. So let's go back to school for a second. This is you. Okay? Poor stickman diagram, but you can get my drift. But what surrounds you is your network. Remember, these are the 5 people you spend most of your time with. Okay? And just like you, when you are dreaming, you have no problems coming up with these big goals, but when you're awake, you feel gravity not only physically holding you down, but gravity represented as your thoughts has a way of acting downwardly on you, okay? The gravity of your thoughts keeps you on the ground, keeps you from thinking big goals, okay? So you end up thinking average goals to keep up with the Joneses in your group. Members of your group are just like you. They're subject to the same forces acting down on them as you are, which is the gravity of thoughts, okay? Now, if you're in a low functioning, low performing group, and you're the sum total of all of those things, the problem is this: if you reach average potential and life has a tendency of throwing its own challenges at you, you hit rock bottom, you end up being in the triangle of success, and we'll put it up here, you be in the bottom half, where the majority of people tend to be, because they're thinking mediocre, average, just getting by, working just hard enough. You end up in this quadrant here, where the masses are, all going for the same types of jobs, having the same types of network. For you to break out of this network, you have to make a lot of noise, because you'll be going against the culture of that group. Okay? You need to be thinking, particularly if you know you're the motivated one in your group and everyone around you is not that motivated, but you know when you're the motivated person because you're always not satisfied. You feel it here, okay? So what you have to do is generate a lot of noise. Similar to a rocket having to launch itself, you have to generate so much noise that your network gets disrupted. Okay, so you are going to be hated. People are going to be looking at you rather oddly. You might even be ostracized by the group because you now are thinking and acting differently. Outside of that network that is average and mediocre, understand there's another network. Let's just say there are 5 other people in that network who are of greater ability than the network you're in. You cannot occupy both networks. You have to choose between network A and network B. It's just the way life is. They cannot coexist. People who are high functioning, high performing, do not normally gravitate or associate themselves for long periods at least with people on lower functioning groups. You need to generate enough thrust, enough noise to power up out of this network into the next network. Okay, this is how life should go for you in terms of you trying to achieve your actual goals. This network B, you find fewer people reach that point. Okay, and as you proceed onwards and upwards, there are other networks as well. Okay, and the same principle has to be applied. You have to generate noise, a lot of noise, to break out of networks. Okay, and again, this is where the highest are. This is where you reach true actualization of your goals. So literally at the bottom of the success pyramid, okay, you have the masses. This is where things are at the most dense. The majority of people are here. And that corresponds to the majority of people who think mediocre, average types of goal. They end up here. It's 100 kilometers to space from Earth, okay, of which you know the atmosphere gets thinner and thinner. These people that surround you formulate their own atmosphere, okay, which is either dense, or as you move up to more successful networks, starts to thin to the point they become very, very thin and you're in orbit. The whole point of this session here is trying to help you to come up with Goals that are out of this orbit, not mediocre goals. I want you all to be successful. Don't just take my word for it. Read books, read autobiographies from the greats, the people that have done it or are doing it now as we speak, making history, redefining history, changing the course of man's destiny. I sincerely hope that this video helps to inspire anybody out there that's thinking really big, outlandish goals, but is struggling with the network that surrounds them, possibly due to the fact that the network is underperforming, underachieving, coming up with mediocre type average goals. Okay, this should give you the confidence to break out of that network and find yourself a network of people that are more successful. And when I'm talking about success here, I'm not talking about just material gain here. Success, as I measure it, is based upon any person that's making bold strides to achieve bold goals has the right to call themselves successful. That could be a parent successfully bringing up their children, that could be an athlete, it could be a mechanic, it could be a scientist, it could be anyone. As long as they're making bold strides to achieve their goals, they have the right to call themselves successful. Okay, so hopefully this video has motivated you and inspired you to achieve and actualize on big goals that are not suborbital, i.e. they reach space and come crashing back down to Earth, okay, but are truly orbital, that go beyond this planet and go on to do great things. Remember guys, all of this means nothing if it's not applied and shared. Each one, teach one. This is Douglas Ham D. for NobodyMotivation.com. I'm out.